Greetings, family. Empress D in nature. Ooh, I've got the blue, sorry, uh, oh my God, blue herons. A couple. It was a mama and a baby flying above me. So sorry, I was distracted. Family, I hope everybody's well. Sorry about the finger in the camera. Obviously, it's Empress D in nature, soaking up the vitamin D in the sun rays. So hot and so nice out here, family. I hope you guys are getting a chance to get out wherever you're at to enjoy the beautiful outdoors. Like, it's free. It's free. And it's so valuable. It's free and it's so... Oh man, sorry. I want to see if I can use my standy thing to hold it up. Family, I'm telling you, nature is free and it's wonderful. So I would engage if I were you. So yeah, what I wanted to talk today about is boundaries, family. Boundaries. What are boundaries? Boundaries, well, at least I describe boundaries as the kind of fortress I put around myself, if that makes sense. So, and I'm speaking about in interpersonal relationships, like when we're relating to one another. I put boundaries up. I notice that, like, as days go on, they just get more and more, even with time. I feel like my time, I start to put boundaries up if people like I don't mind waiting, but if you're not respecting the fact that I'm waiting, if you're just acting like and taking that for granted, I don't know. You have to respect my time. Anyway, so that's what I'm trying to say with boundaries. It's a kind of a limit by which you allow people to treat you. And once that is established, the other part of boundaries is limiting or titrating the access that people have to you. So the other day, I know we talked about relationships and how to evaluate the health of them. And once we evaluate the health of those relationships, then is when we should set the boundaries for those relationships. So for example, if I determine that a relationship with somebody that I know is unhealthy, then really, for the love of myself, I should limit the exposure that I allow myself to have to this person that is not healthy for me. And I do this not just arbitrarily, but because... So I'm going to use myself as an example. For me, I try to spend the majority of my time feeling good. So that means I try to be in those good or higher vibrations, such as gratitude, joy, love, peace, there's lots. It's just feeling good and right and not negative in terms of being fearful or angry or sad or grudgeful or envious or jealous. It's not serving to you to be and sit in those vibrations. So obviously we're going to oscillate between these emotions. But what I'm trying to say to you is I purposely choose not to dwell in those vibrations that are not serving to me or are lower, such as fear, anxiety, sadness, and that kind of thing. So if I have a relationship with somebody and I find that when I interact with them, afterwards I'm often feeling sad, that lets me know that that might not be the healthiest relationship for me. So really I should be titrating the access that person has to me. We obviously cannot control how other people treat us. So if I'm in this toxic relationship and I've identified, this is not a healthy relationship, and I've actually shared this information with that individual that's hurting me, and time goes on and there's no change in their behavior and they continue to hurt you, then you have a choice. You have a choice to determine what access this person has to you, how much time you're going to allow them in your life. And you have to be careful, because you know with this person at any time they can make you feel bad, right? You're actually at their mercy. And so when you think about in the situation, what you can control is the access the person has to you. But what you can't control is how that person treats you. You have no control of that. But you have the control of how much you allow this person to treat you like this. So the tricky part is sometimes in relationships, that those same people that hurt us also make us feel good, right? So, it's kind of like a trade-off. But sometimes we have to really analyze it and say to ourselves, at what point do we see that this is a toxic pattern, especially if we've communicated and communicated again, and given the person the opportunity, to not hurt you in that manner, and they continually choose to, then you have to recognize you have to do what's best for you. And again, for me, it's just about, I like feeling nice. I honestly, and it's a high. Once you felt that peace, you don't want to give it up for nothing, for nothing. And so you kind of just shed the things that don't resonate with that peaceful feeling. And so that's how I kind of set my boundaries. And I consider my boundaries my best friend. Boundaries are a girl's best friend. Forget diamonds, although diamonds are pretty. Don't get me wrong. Boundaries are more valuable, I think, than diamonds. Because no diamond can provide you that feeling that peace gives you, right? Family, that's what's up. That's my view on boundaries. They say that in order to set boundaries and know what feels good and what doesn't feel good, you have to kind of be in touch with yourself. You have to be able to recognize your feelings. You know what I mean? And comfortable analyzing and identifying them. And it shouldn't be like a step-by-step process. It should be like a continual thing where you're like, that didn't feel good. And sometimes we're not honest with ourselves. That's the problem. We push that, that didn't feel good. Oh no, it's okay. They were in a bad mood. We excuse it. But we really have to pay attention to what energy we're sitting in, what vibratory state we're sitting in. Are we sitting in a higher frequency vibratory state or a lower frequency vibratory state? The higher vibratory frequency state is where it's at. I'm telling you, family. And so setting boundaries helps you keep yourself there, right? It minimizes the chances that you're sucked back into the vortex of yucky feelings. However, you can't escape it at times, but you just don't dwell there. You just don't stay there, right? You don't stay in those lower vibrational feelings. Anyway, family, I'm going to go and continue my walk and continue enjoying this wonderful nature. I hope you guys do the same. I really thank you for taking the time to listen. I love and I value each and every one of you, family. One love.